I had spent my entire life working. Every single day, I woke up, put on my simple clothes, and went to my job. I saved every coin I earned, never buying new clothes, never going on trips, and never eating at fancy restaurants. Friends and family often told me, "You should enjoy life." But I didn't listen. I believed that if I worked hard and saved enough money, I could finally feel secure, ready for whatever the future might bring. I wanted more. I wanted safety. I wanted to be prepared for anything. So I worked harder, saved more. My bank account grew, but my life stayed the same. My house was small, my car was old, my clothes were plain, and I didn't care. I thought to myself, one day I will have enough, one day I will rest. But that day never came. Every time I looked at my money, I thought, not yet, I need more. I watched others travel, eat at nice restaurants, and buy new things. But I told myself that they weren't being careful. They didn't think about the future while I was making sure I had everything planned. Then one evening, everything changed. I was driving home from work. The road was dark and the rain was heavy. My hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, focusing on driving carefully. Then suddenly, bright headlights appeared fast, blinding me for a moment. There was a loud crash, and my car was struck with a powerful force. It spun out of control, and my head collided with something. My body felt an intense pain, and then everything went black. When I woke up, I was in a hospital. The room was bright, and everything around me was white. My body ached, my arms, legs, chest. Everything hurt. A doctor stood beside me, and he said, "You're lucky. The accident was serious, but you will be okay." I looked at my hands, moved my legs. I was alive, but fear gripped me. What if I had died? What if I had no more time? What would have happened to my money? What would happen to all my plans? Lying there in the sterile hospital bed, I realized that I had saved money for years, but had never used it. I had worked hard, but I had never enjoyed life. I had waited for one day, but it never came. Every day was the same. Wake up, work, save money, sleep, and repeat. No joy, no adventure, no memories, just waiting. That night, in the quiet of my hospital room, I made a decision. I didn't want to wait anymore. I didn't want to just save for the future. I wanted to live now. As I lay there, the hospital was silent, and despite the pain in my body, my mind was awake. I thought about all the years I had spent saving money. I had never taken a break, never travelled, never done anything fun. My days had always been the same: work, eat, sleep, repeat. Now I was lying in a hospital bed, realizing something. Money couldn't change this moment. My savings couldn't take away the pain I was feeling. A nurse came in, smiling at me. "How do you feel?" she asked. "I'm okay," I replied. She checked my pulse and wrote something down. "You're lucky," she said. "Many people don't survive accidents like yours." Her words stayed with me. I had been lucky. I was still alive. But what if I hadn't been? What if my life had ended that night? I had spent years saving, but hadn't lived. I had only worked and waited, but for what? Later, the doctor came in and said I needed rest. You don't have any broken bones, but your body needs time to heal, he explained. I nodded, but my thoughts were far away. Rest? I had never rested. I always worked. I always saved. But now I had to stop. I had to think. The accident had forced me to see the truth. My life was empty. I had spent so much time collecting money, but not moments. I had spent my days planning for a future I might never see. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about my life before the accident. I had been careful. I had been smart. I had saved money, but I had never been happy. I had waited for the perfect time, but I didn't even know when that was supposed to be. I had missed so much. I had never seen the ocean, never climbed a mountain, never danced in the rain, never tried new food, never watched a sunset without thinking about work. I had been too busy saving for some distant one day. But when would that one day come? I didn't know. But I promised myself that when I left this hospital, I would change. I would not wait anymore. I would not live for money. I would live for life. I would travel. I would try new things. I would enjoy every moment. And I would stop saying, not yet. Life does not wait. And I didn't want to wait anymore. The days in the hospital were long. I watched the clock, listened to the sounds in the hall, and waited for the doctor. My body hurt, but my mind was clear. I thought about my life before the accident. I had been careful. I had been smart. But I had not been happy. I had waited for something that may never come. The nurse came in with my food. She smiled at me. You're getting better, she said. I nodded. She placed the tray on the table and left. I looked at the food, simple bread, soup, and tea. I picked up the spoon and took a bite. It was warm. It was good. I had never noticed small things like this before. I was always too busy thinking about work. But now I had time, and for the first time, I enjoyed a simple meal. Later, the doctor came in and checked my wounds. He told me that I would be going home soon. I nodded. Home. My small house. My old car. My quiet life. But now everything felt different. I didn't want to return to the same routine. I didn't want to sit at home, waiting for the future. I wanted to change, but I didn't know how. That evening, I looked out the window. The sun was setting, and the sky was painted in shades of red and gold. It was beautiful. I had never watched a sunset like this before. I had always been too busy. Now, I sat still and watched the colours change. I felt the moment, and I smiled. The next day I stood up for the first time. My legs were weak, but I walked slowly. The nurse helped me. You're strong, she said. I didn't feel strong. I felt different. I felt new, like a man who had been asleep for years and was finally waking up. I didn't want to waste another day. I wanted to live. That night, I made a decision. When I left the hospital, I would do something new. I would take a trip. I would go somewhere I had never been. I didn't know where, and I didn't know how, but I knew one thing. I was done waiting. My life was just beginning. The day came when the doctor said, "You can go home." I packed my things, and the nurse helped me to the door. She smiled and said, "Take care of yourself." I nodded, stepped outside, and took a deep breath. The air was fresh, and the sky was blue. I was free. I was alive. I got into a taxi, and the driver asked, "Home?" I paused. My home was small, quiet and familiar, but it felt different now. I looked out the window. The city was busy. People walked fast. Cars moved quickly. Everyone had a place to go. Where do I want to go? I asked myself. For the first time, I didn't want to go home. I wanted something new. I opened my laptop and searched for places to visit. Beaches, mountains, cities. There were so many choices. I had never done this before. I had always said, "Not now. Maybe later." But now I was ready. I was excited. After much thought, I chose a small town by the sea. It was far away, and it was different. I bought the ticket. My hands shook as I clicked the button. My heart raced with excitement and nerves, but I was happy. This was new. This was the beginning. The next morning, I packed my bag. Clothes, shoes, a book. I looked around my house one last time. It had been my world for so long, but now I was ready to leave. I locked the door and took a deep breath. My journey was starting. At the airport, everything was loud and busy. People talking, luggage rolling, announcements playing. I held my ticket in my hand, looking up at the planes. I had never been on a plane before. I had never travelled. But now it was time. I walked forward. I didn't look back. The flight was long, but I didn't feel tired. I watched the people around me. Some read books. Some slept. Some talked and laughed. I wondered how many of them had done this before. For them, maybe it was just another flight. But for me, it was the first step into a new life. When the plane landed, I felt nervous. The airport was huge, and people moved fast. I followed the signs, grabbed my bag, and stepped outside. The air was warm, the sky was bright, and everything felt different. This was not my city. This was not my home. But I felt something new, freedom. I took a taxi to my hotel, and the driver chatted with me. "First time here?" he asked. I nodded. "Yes," I said, "but not the last." He smiled. "You'll love it," he said. The streets were full of life, people walking, talking, music playing in the air. The sea was close, and I could smell it. I had never seen the ocean before. Now I was here, and I couldn't wait to explore. At the hotel, I checked in, and my room had a view of the ocean. I put my bag down, sat on the bed, and smiled. I had done it. I had taken the first step. Later, I walked to the beach. The sand felt soft under my feet, and the waves moved gently. The sun was setting, turning the sky orange and pink. It was beautiful. I had never seen anything like this before. As I sat there, I realized something. I had spent so many years waiting for the perfect time. But there was no perfect time. Life is now. I had wasted too much time, but I wasn't going to waste any more. The next morning, I took a walk along the lively streets, filled with people, small shops, and children playing. I passed colourful houses and smiled. Life was full of simple joys. I was ready to experience it all. That day, I met a man who owned a small boat. He offered to take me to a nearby island. Before this trip, I would have said no, but now I said yes. The boat rocked gently over the water. The wind touched my face, and I closed my eyes. It was simple, but it was beautiful. On the island, I walked alone for a while, picking up a small rock. I thought about everything that had led me here. The accident, the hospital, the decision to change. I had been given a second chance, and I wasn't going to waste it. As the sun began to set, I took one last look at the ocean and knew that this wasn't the end. It was only the beginning.